of the system is required by law. And if we not do this, we will be left behind. We are not innovative anymore. And our project is the biggest globally. That is true for the German project, and that is at least true for the British project. They are both the biggest IT projects globally. At the same time, both. Fascinating, isn't it? And finally, you are simply not fit to decide, because this is absolutely high-tech, yeah? And there are millions of pages publicly available. Do you have read all the pages? Before that, you can't offer a public opinion about the system. So I leave it to you if you see any signs of a social engineering attack here. Again, because it's so important, e-health is so important, security considerations are secondary. We should not linger with these projects and wait longer for the benefits just because a few security questions are not cleared finally. So my hypothesis on this would be we have an ISO-OSI layer 10 attack here. We have projects, that's true for many e-government projects and for many public-private partnership projects. The projects are set up on a political layer. The public review and control requires very rare skill sets. These skill sets are mostly controlled by the industry because most people carrying the skills are working there. And if there's an independent expert voicing his critics, then it is tried to suppress this person. And finally, and that is the result, billions of euros or whatever currency you choose in a different area is wasted in this beacon project. And I could have easily given a very, very long list of beacon projects failed or significantly underperforming. The question is, what is the return on investment of these beacon projects for the society? What do you think is skyrocketing here? Because this curve seems to falsify my claims. What is growing to the sky here? Any idea?
Level 10, religion, I don't know.
Child poverty in Germany. That's the growth rate of child poverty in Germany. Pardon? Child poverty, Kinderarmut. In this 70% child poverty, that correlates to 2.5 million children, which are living on the level of social support. Remember, this project will at least cost around 14 billion euro within 10 years. Probably it will cost 47 billion euros within 10 years. My personal opinion, that's scandalous. So the question is, when we have the experience that many of these large-scale public-private partnership projects fail or underperform, why don't we invest our public money into the future of our society? And the question is the future of our society performing beacon projects, or is the future of our society educating a lot of children to the level that they can become experts? Not necessarily computer science expert, just experts, technicians, scientists. And from experience, I have done a lot of work in a social area with young adults. From experience, I would guess that well above 80 to 90% of children, given a chance, will be successful in their lives and will benefit society. And if we look at beacon projects, we see that 80 to 90% fail or at least significantly underperform. That's one important point I think we have to keep in mind. The second is, when we want to live in a democracy, we need stringent control, independent control of beacon projects. And we should take it as an indicator of danger for our society if critics are suppressed. Because that is, somebody is trying to manipulate our perception of reality. And that is a social engineering attack. And finally, we have to keep in mind the systems we build might be misused against society as a whole later. So we have to build systems resilient against totalitarian misuse. I want to give you one example, the Holocaust. During the Second World War, the computer science had two large effects. One was a good one, that was breaking the enigma with Colossus in, what's the name? Bletchley Park, exactly. And the second was, the Holocaust was organized and was efficient because of the use of Hollerith cards, punch cards. The census in 1933 and 1939 was done with punch cards, and with help of the punch cards, a very small circle of people was in the position to very quickly and efficiently generate lists of Jews, for example, and prepare the lists for the commandos which deported these Jews. Though that is not to say that Holocaust would not have been possible without information technology, but it was much more deadly and much more efficient, because the small circle is better to isolate. You don't have so many information leaks which could warn people. Yeah? And I think we have to keep that in mind when designing large-scale public systems, that we have to build them resilient, because especially in the health system, we have to keep in mind this information has abuse potential about 150 years. If I know you have disease which is congenital, that is a disease which you inherit to your children and to their children, then the information that you have this disease is relevant in 150 years, because then your children's children perhaps still are trying to get employed or to get insured. And you can correct me, but as far as I know at the time, we don't even have encryption technology where I would bet that this would last 150 years. So I come to the last part. We have in the society a general perception that hacking is harmful. And I want to challenge this. Perhaps you know the old dialogue where this is indirectly quoted from. Of course, attacking other people's system is a criminal act. But the main problem is that technology which is not understood, and most people have no idea what we are talking about this here in this conference, is seen, is looked upon and handled like magic. And magic has always provoked fear and persecution. We can look at all cultures at nearly all times, at least at all times where we have written recordings from. So it's very understandable that hacking is considered harmful. But on the other hand, it's making things too easy because it's just scapegoating technical aptness for the failure of manufacturers and owners of systems. And we really have to communicate to the general public if this could be a realistic approach, because nobody would accept a mass production vehicle on the streets without public approval, the so-called homologation. No mass vehicle hits the street before it has been thoroughly tested. And of course, these tests encompass crash testing. There's no car on the street beside oldtimers which was not crash tested. And of course, nobody will prohibit or condemn crash testing activity, even if it's not performed by the manufacturer themselves. And nobody would criminalize the tools or the skills you need to do this. In Germany, we just have new laws which go very strongly in the direction to criminalize the tools you need to do this with computers. And the general public has really to understand that practical security testing is the same for IT what is crash testing for cars. And therefore it's not harmful, it's absolutely indispensable, and we need the experts. And again, the question is, where should these experts come from?
Are you saying that experts are like crash test dummies?
No.
No.
No. Yes?
No, I have the way you present it makes me very uncomfortable, like comparing hacking with crash testing. I can buy a car, it's my car, I can crash test it, no problem. I can buy a Windows box and test it, no problem. But I want pen test this hotel IT system, it's not mine.
Yes, of course.
The same way I won't crash test my neighbor's car.
Yep. First statement to prevent.
On the other side of the coin.
Yes.
You say that hacking in the criminal
No.
defining it is a two-side coin, and on one side
No.
the criminal think that on the other side it's good.
Let us postpone the content discussion to the end.
It's
Please.
okay to the end, but right now it's not.
Just give me a second. Yeah? So, I made it very clear. Hacking is a crime. What I'm talking about is that criminalizing the tools and the skill is the problem. I clearly stated you should not hack a system which is neither yours or you have a mandate to analyze. But the problem is if you make the skill itself or the tools criminal, you will lose the capability as a society. Yeah? So the characteristic of aspiring technical talents is they want to know how things work. Occasionally things go a little bit wrong if you are immature as a child. Yeah? So how do we get from a technical talent to an apt technician? He needs theoretical knowledge, he needs practical experience, she needs it too, imagination, creativity, and ideally, responsibility. Some of these things you can achieve with formal education, but to achieve experience and creativity, you need some freedom and you need some opportunity to explore and experiment in a socially acceptable way. Yeah? That is, we need a hacking space